Hey guys, how are we all doing? Just wanted to say thank you to everybody who threw me a message for getting some good results off the last couple of videos, and yeah, who liked and subscribed. So cheers for that, and shared the video with friends. So yeah, basically we broke through this level of key resistance, which we were looking at when we were pushing into in the last video. We've broken through that, and now I've actually flipped that into support. Price took off last night, quite aggressively, and we came up to about that 10,800 level. I was expecting it to push a little bit higher to that 10,900 level, so I feel that this move probably isn't out of steam just yet. And as we can see on our stochastics RSI, which is really useful when you're having big momentum pushes and pumps, especially on the 1 hour. Usually when that's oversold, as we can see it is right now, and breaking to the upside, that results, especially after something like a support and resistance flip like this, sometimes that can give a good indication that we're about to pump and have our next leg up, right? So I could definitely see this coming back up and challenging this 10,900 level. And that is for sure across, the next day or two. The other thing as well, which we could easily be happening, is this ends up forming some sort of flag pattern and takes a little bit longer to play out, something like this, right? An ascending triangle or symmetric triangle, and it bounces around in here for a little bit, and then does something like that, and then we finally get that breakout, flip into support, and take off, right? So obviously this was the key level that we were looking at through here that we're trying to push into, and it's been really good to see this come back and flip into support. I wanted to buy this level, but I actually missed it. I wasn't at the computer, so I'm still looking for a buy-in. I will grab somewhere inside this flag pattern if it gives me an opportunity, but I want to be trying to get the bottom of this flag pattern, and the worst case scenario is if it does just break straight out, then I buy the breakout. Or the other opportunities that I can do is I can average in, and do 25% of my total trade at a time, and enter in over 4 trades throughout this triangle area, just in case it does take off and move. So those are my 3 options at the moment. I haven't decided what I'm going to do just yet. We just had a really bullish 4-hour close actually, which formed a nice pin, and it looks like this looks like it's about to pump again here on the 4-hour and just take straight off, especially when you see a really long tail like that with the dragonfly doji. That looks really bullish to me off support, right? Off a really key area of support. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 key touches of this area. Obviously it was held up here as well. So this is a really strong level, a really high quality level. So this was a great buy. I actually missed it this morning, unfortunately. So yeah, looking to get in somewhere throughout this consolidation period where it goes sideways for a bit. Obviously the danger zone right now is we're very overbought on the 4-hour, and that needs to have a bit of a swing low, I think, and just refresh and have a bit of a cool off. But it looks like this could just stay in the overbought region for a little while longer, because this 4-hour looks like it wants to pump. That was a pretty big thick red candle for a while. Then it's completely reversed by the end of the 4-hour period, and we just flicked over now 2 minutes ago into the new candle, and it looks like it wants to pump pretty aggressively, right? So what I'm going to be looking for, see if we get any of our indicators telling us it's a good time to buy in, right? We're still waiting for maybe a green signal on the 1 hour to pop up, and that'll probably give us a better indication that it's ready to pump. I easily could see this probably getting rejected again at this level, at that 10,700 level, and then just coming back down again. And we have a couple more sideways bars, which would give us a little bit more time for have a bit more of a sell-off, and maybe bounce off the 50 level on the stochastics RSI, let this cool off a little bit on a traditional RSI, and have a little bit more of a run after that to come up and challenge this area up here. Right, so the other thing as well that I'm looking at is that what could happen if this trade fails and it fails to the downside, right? So key thing to note for would be if we lose this level of key support resistance, right? And this actually flips, so it comes up like this, bounces off here, right, and that flips into resistance again, right? That would be very bearish, and that would be a good short area, right? So that would be an area where I'd be looking to get short on the market, because basically that just ends up being a rounded retest, right? Because we would have the key area through here, right? We break through it, right? And if this has a significant break down below this area without it holding a support, that's going to flip into resistance again, and it's very, very bearish, because that should hold a support now for a while, at least have a fair few tags of it, right? So expecting that to hold as support, and if it does, obviously that's a very bearish sign, and I'm expecting that to sell off quite aggressively and break back down towards the weekly order block again for another test, and that would be putting us into that larger time frame sort of shape, which is the descending triangle pattern. Right, so this is definitely a play that could happen quite easily, right? And you know, a lot of people sort of say, oh, you know, you can't trade both ways and blah blah blah, you know, in saying sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, or it could go either way, right? But in trading, we need to be aware that the market can go in either direction at any time. And it only really takes one big player in the market to decide that they want the market to go in the other direction, or they have a different idea to you, and it completely can invalidate your theory, right? So we need to be able to be prepared for anything that could possibly happen in the market, right? We could either break out through this level here, right? Or we could get to this level and it could break down from there, and then we'd form the descending triangle, and then it breaks down from here. So we need to have a plan and be set up in case either direction in the market happens. And so we're prepared, because when you're not prepared for the trade to go against the direction you think it's going to go in, then you don't have a plan if that starts to play out, right? So we want to be fluid. Trading is about balance. Trading is about being able to see both directions of what could happen and being able to construct a plan. So you can, so then if that does happen, you're actually prepared for it, and you're not panicking and throwing stuff around, jumbling papers and being like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? You actually have a plan, and you know how you want to trade if that happens, right? So last night when we pumped and it looked like the market was starting to reverse, I took profit on my trades there. We had a couple of nice little trades. Here's some of the results from that one that I threw up into our Discord group, and a few of the other guys got some really good results as well. So yeah, I'll throw up a link if anyone wants to join to our Discord. I'll throw up a little link in the comments section of this YouTube video, and yeah, you guys can jump in and join us. I post a lot of information and stuff like that throughout the day, and then most of the trades that I'm taking as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. We haven't had too much development that I can really comment on. You know, really waiting to see what happens in the next couple of hours. I think this 4-hour candle is going to be very interesting to see if this does pump and come up to our target of this 10.9 area. And then I think this will probably sell off a little bit, or at least have some sort of a flag pattern sideways underneath the trend line and then break out. What I would then want to see is this actually flip into support like this. So flag around for a little bit, flip this area into support because that's a key swing high area, come up and challenge this level sideways again, and then get on top of that, right? And then I really would like to see that happen, and we break out of this consolidation period, and we go up to challenge, you know, the previous yearly highs, right? And this will probably muck around for a little while and then go up, right? So that is what I'm seeing in the market right now. Obviously very bullish. I think how could you not be bullish at the moment on this? On like higher time frames, or you know what, the wider time frame of this, if we go to the daily, it just looks like a big bull flag, right? So we've had a really strong uptrend, right, and then into a bull flag, and now this is getting ready to take off. So let's see how this plays out. Obviously it can still go either way. We're in a consolidation period, but I am turning more and more bullish the higher we get, of course, and it's good that we've broken through this key swing point area. Now I want to see this level here at 10.9 get flipped, and then obviously the weekly resistance, right, at this 10.6 to 10.8 sort of level. I want to see that get flipped as well, right? So they're the key areas to be looking for, and bears, this would probably be a decent area to be looking to defend, so this will be a tough one to get through, I think. Hopefully we can take it out by the end of the week. This move's been pretty aggressive so far. Other things in the market that's going on right now, I had a nice Litecoin short on as well, which I took off last night. I'll be looking to get short on that again shortly, because I think it still has a fair way to go, that's for sure. So obviously it's broken that key level of resistance, so that key level of support, and we're looking for that to break down further to the downside. So I'll be looking for another entry on that quite soon. I'll probably hold that a little bit longer now. So we'll see how that one plays out also. So these are the key levels I'm looking for, just to map those out for everyone again. Right, and yeah, apart from that, gold has been sort of going, well, I mean, obviously it's been mooning on the weekly. It's been going a little bit sideways on the 4 hour, possibly in some sort of rising wedge at the moment. Right, we'll have to see how that ends up playing out and resolving, pushing into resistance at the moment. Silver has been absolutely exploding. I missed this last night because I was actually trading Bitcoin, but yeah, this was obviously a really easy trade. It seems to just be going up, forming a bull flag, going up again, right? So yeah, there's been some really, really nice trades on silver recently, and then platinum as well has just been doing the same thing and just following silver. So, you know, precious metals are being absolutely parabolic right now. So yeah, something to pay attention to. And obviously at the moment, you know, stocks have been having a little bit of a sell-off as well. Obviously in the US, what happened was the tariffs that Trump's been imposing got put in over the weekend. Obviously because it's September now, so the 15% tariffs came into effect, and then we saw a lot of action in the market last night because the US had the long weekend, and so the Tuesday night for us in Australia was their first day of trade, so it was their Tuesday morning for traders coming back to work. So that's why we got a lot of action last night. And obviously, you know, your precious metals have the reaction to the tariffs being put in, and so silver and platinum are starting to catch up to gold a little bit now, and they're having their moon rallies. So yeah, silver's sort of looking a little bit like Bitcoin at the moment, or you know, an altcoin at least. Take a look at this thing on the daily. It's pretty crazy. Actually, we might have to go about it on the weekly a little bit further out. Literally out here just looking like an altcoin at the moment, which is pretty funny. So yeah, we're going to be interesting to see. The silver has actually come up and it's tagged the $50 level before. I think it was in the 70s. I'm trying to find a chart on TradingView that goes back that far, but I haven't found one. But yeah, basically, if we do go into, you know, what's looking like could be another global financial crisis sort of situation, I am expecting silver to go pretty high and you know, at least challenge the 34 level, and possibly, you know, we get another tag of the 50 level. But yeah, definitely not financial advice on this one. This is just what I'm looking at in my opinions, but it does look like it wants to go into another rally, but it has already pumped quite a lot. So I'm expecting to have a little bit of a cool off on the precious metals for a little bit, and then we'll probably rally and see them go higher towards the end of the year, and probably next year as well, continue on their bullishness. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The major things that I'm looking at the moment in all markets. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.